Hello everyone, welcome to Best Recipes with Sharon. Most people really like their potatoes, so here's an easy dish to try. It's called lemon pepper potatoes, skillet style. And this is enough for about 2 or 3 people, but the amounts can be easily adjusted for more people if you wish. Before we get started, I'd like to tell you about my new cookbook. It's called Best Recipes with Sharon, Homemade Meals and Appetizers Made Easy. It's available on Amazon. To purchase your copy, click on the link that's in the description below this video. Now on to the featured recipe for today. So we'll get out a few ingredients and we'll get started. These are simple ingredients that you'll likely have around the house already. Start by washing 2 medium-sized potatoes. I'm using red potatoes, but you can use any potato that you have around the home. Once they're thoroughly washed, take a sharp knife and cut them into 1/4-inch slices. And here I'm measuring out some extra virgin olive oil. This will help to add a lot of flavor. Pour the extra virgin olive oil into a cast iron pan. If you don't have cast iron, you can just use a regular skillet. Turn your heat on medium-high, heat the oil up, and start adding the potatoes to the oil when the oil starts to get warm. So we'll be lightly frying these in single batches. We just want them to start turning light brown and only for about 3 or 4 minutes per side. Then flip them over and do the other side for 3 or 4 minutes. The idea is just to lightly brown them and get the flavor of the olive oil into the potato a little bit. This is not to cook them yet. And once the first batch is done, just remove them and place them on a paper towel to drain. Then do the second batch of potatoes single layer in the same oil and fry it the same way. But for today's recipe, we only needed to do 2 batches of these. Them to brown up just a little bit at this stage, but you got to be careful that you don't overcook them, because by the time they're done, they could be too soft. Now that you've removed the potatoes from the pan, use the same oil and add 1/2 cup of chopped sweet onion. Mix that around a little bit and add in 4 cloves of chopped garlic. And let this saute in this oil for a little bit until the onions start to turn translucent, and the garlic should have a little bit of a fragrant smell to it, and they'll be lightly browned. Make sure that your heat is turned down to a medium heat so that this doesn't brown too quickly, or you don't want to burn your onions and garlic, because now you're going to put your potatoes on top of this, and you're going to be continuing to cook this, but we'll be adding some actual vegetable broth to this before we continue to cook this right through. And so we add just enough vegetable broth to cover the potatoes just nicely. So for today's recipe, that's between 1.5 to 2 cups of vegetable broth. You can turn your heat back up a little bit and get this starting to boil. Once this starts to come to a bit of a boil, turn your heat down and let it simmer. Turn your timer on for probably between 12 and 14 minutes. Your potatoes will be tender and the vegetable broth will be absorbed into the potatoes. So we'll need some finely grated lemon. We'll need about 1 teaspoon of this lemon zest, and you'll spread that over the top of your potatoes, making sure to spread it out evenly so that each piece gets a little bit. Now then, for some freshly ground black pepper. Give it a generous amount and sprinkle that evenly over the top of the potatoes. And do the same thing with freshly ground salt. Then top it off nicely with some parsley flakes. Okay, so you can remove it from the heat, and there you have it. How easy is that? What a simple dish. It's easy, it's tasty, and nutritious. So go ahead and enjoy some. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe, and until next time, happy eating.